The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate House Party. We have Sal Votano here today, and we were having a very peppy conversation. We were talking about a lot of, and then we started talking about the show I saw the other day.
We just woke Tony up, didn't we?
Well,
MacGyver. No, he bummed me out.
Where the guy was stuck in a coffin, alive.
One of my worst fears.
It freaks me out, and so I happened to project my fear onto him. And now
that's all
look
I
at
can
him.
Don't
think
worry,
about.
guys.
That's all I can think about.
We'll make sure you guys are dead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for thinking of us, Sal. What do you think
Tony's probably not as scared as you are.
No, I am. That's why my plan is to be taken up into space and burn up in reentry.
And you said that you were going to take us with you.
Yeah, you go with us. Yeah.
When are you going to take us on one of your movies? DOA? We could have played one of those roles.
I know. Do they have any extra parts for us?
Of course they do, but
Tony,
you would have to come to Florida and all of that.
Oh, okay. That would have killed us.
Yeah.
It's great.
We would have had to take some time off of work.
We just
Oh, my God.
We just filmed a little thing over the weekend with already Lenny Clark and Jordan.
I saw
Topper.
that.
Lenny.
You guys look so spiffy.
We did a thing called the Dirty Uber.
Yeah. Are you a dirty Uber driver?
No, Lenny is a dirty Uber driver. Let me just say, the piece starts with Lenny pulling up going, "Hey, you whores need a ride?" And it goes from, that's the beginning.
And what's Jordan's role in it?
Jordan plays my assistant / love interest.
Ooh.
You know why?
Why?
Because I wrote it.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Lenny's perfect in this role, and Jordan got the crew together, and we filmed over the weekend. We did 2 days of solid shooting.
Like fun.
It was a lot of fun, and it's a very funny piece. Kenny Rogerston, Steve Sweeney's in it.
What's the name of it?
It's called The Dirty Uber.
Oh, it is called that.
Dirty Uber.
Is Artie's in it?
No, Artie did something called Two Dicks with
yeah.
Al Ducharme.
I can't keep up with you people.
Yeah, but what do you do for a movie?
Wait a minute. You're not the comedian.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You're not the comedian.
Right.
Just last night,
He's been doing the real estate talk lately, so go ahead.
Just last night, Artie and I did a show for crisis negotiators from all over New England, or actually all over the Northeast.
Was it serious?
No, we did a show for them, but these guys are the real deal.
No, that's what I mean. The show was
So were you making fun of all their crises?
I think, look, God bless you guys, because I'd get to a point like after 20 seconds going, you know what? You're fucking boring me. Jump.
Well, that brings me to a different subject.
Don't talk about my
Rick used to be like a suicide hotline.
Oh, on the hotline? Yeah.
Customer service rep.
That's nice.
And I said, "Oh my God, I'm glad I never called that line." Come give me a hug.
And then I was saying, I wish she had.
Because I would have jumped.
Yeah, you would have jumped.
Yeah.
You would have jumped. You threatened that a few times at the office.
Yeah, I've threatened.
Sal, you've run into a few crises. We love Sal.
My life is a crisis.
Your life,
it's 49 years, one after another. It doesn't end.
Same.
Sal is too talented. That's what his problem is.
No, I wouldn't. I'm a washed-up, middle-aged.
No,
I don't even know what I am anymore. I can't. I quit comedy.
That says enough.
I quit everything.
Washed up, middle-aged. That's all you need to know.
What did we call you in the last show? The quitter?
The quitter. Yeah, the quitter. I quit everything.
Most successful quitter there is on the planet.
Yeah. Well, I got back into the building. And I've been on stage recently, so I haven't gotten back on stage.
There you go.
Were you? Not Route 1 giggles, were you?
Route 1 giggles, lots of laughs, a couple of basements. Yeah, I went out there. Yeah, so it's good.
How's it feel to be back?
Baby
it feels great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels good. Yeah, after 2 years of being off stage, it feels great.
So Sal's going to do some seminars with us, and we're hoping to get Tony V to do it.
All
so the
right.
four of us are going to do some construction seminars on.
All right.
Because I got to be honest with you, it's a lot of people need a little help in this area. Sellers are selling their property. They don't know how much to put into their house.
Well, right. That's always a question. Like,
Right.
I'm putting my house on the market. Should I replace the carpets, or like, what should I do?
So do we put $5,000 in well, if you're only making $3,500 on it, or do we put in the pool out back? Does that look good for a?
Sounds good.
Sure.
No, it's funny because I'm actually doing that right now in Everett for my wife's grandmother. House is sitting there empty. I'm like, listen, we got to get this thing sold.
Wait, your wife still has a grandmother?
Yeah.
That's
Nin-
amazing.
96.
How old?
Wow.
96.
Wait.
And she's doing improvements?
And she was, well,
She wants
on
to sell
herself,
it.
not
Oh,
the,
no,
we're talking about the house.
Right.
No, we actually put her
I
in
thought
assisted
Tony was going to
living.
say,
Yeah.
"Wait,
Yeah.
you still have a
Hey,
wife?"
she was still dancing a couple years ago.
Wow.
Really?
96.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, everyone in my family drops dead at 45.
Oh, great.
This
So
lady-
you consider yourself lucky. You're
I'm
4 years
49.
ahead. Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
going to collect retirement soon.
Yeah.
Your grandmother's still dancing?
No, my wife's grandmother. Yeah, she's still going. Well, she's reading up until a couple of years ago.
Right,
but
right,
yeah.
right.
But so yeah, but what you just said is exactly what we're going through. Do we fix the house up? Do we sell it as is? And right now, we determined if we put $20,000 into it, that
Do
it
you
will-
make 40, 50, right?
and it will sell quicker. Who wants
Right,
to buy
right.
a
Tell
house
us-
that's disgusting?
So
and
what would you
So
put
tell
in?
us what you're doing.
Yeah.
Cosmetic, right? Of course.
yeah, change out the kitchen cabinets,
Yeah.
new appliances, new hot water tank.
But by you doing that, your 20,000 might be someone else's 40 to 50,000,
Right,
right?
because you're doing the work
Possibly.
You're doing it yourself.
Right.
Possibly.
I mean,
yeah.
you and me can do a lot of that work ourselves, but
But like, would you?
Wait,
That went right over.
I'm not going to let that slide.
But,
you? Yeah.
And you got to be careful if you start getting too crazy. Now you're getting into the permit process. So now
that's
gonna-
another
right.
question
That's
for you.
going to just drag the job on longer.
Right.
And you start opening.
All right, we're
stuff.
jumping around, but
All right, no, let's go back
I know a lot
then.
of
Let's go
brokers
back.
say a fresh coat of paint, right? Neutral
Yeah.
colored paint. Like you're not picking purple, yellow, blue. Like
Right.
just a neutral colored
Yeah.
paint would.
Gray's the new brown.
Yeah.
The
Right,
gray's
so
the-
gray,
Oh, is that
the
right?
That's
off-white.
what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
pronouns the new female. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I know we don't know. We don't
I
know
don't
what
even
to
know what pronoun
identify.
is. I went to Lynn schools.
Them and they. You can't go wrong with them and
person,
they.
place, and thing. I was good on the nouns. They threw me out with the pronoun. I don't even know what that is.
How are we?
But
Where'd you go? Lynn Classical?
I went everywhere.
A
Lynn
pronoun is
classical,
like
Lynn English.
he, she,
Although I skipped
they.
I skipped 2 months without getting caught.
Really?
No, you didn't.
Swear to God, 2
How'd you
So
months.
do
did
that?
Ricotta.
My
Yeah, but
wife
they caught me.
my mother. Geez, that got weird.
Oh boy! All right, Sigmund Freud. Get
My
back to
mother
work.
was signing me up at Lynn English. She went out the front door. I went out the back door. So I never went to a class. So they never knew who I was. 2 months later, I got punched in the mouth. I knew my time was up.
Well, if
And
everything was that definitive.
And to show you how easy the school is I actually passed. I don't know how you even pass school. Go to the next grade, you're missing 2 months. But somehow
See, I was
did
one
it.
of these guys who did it, but was very honest about it. So I remember opening
Yeah.
day. Everyone used to go to opening day.
And their parents would give them notes.
Right, and there would be a sheet. And I used to laugh. You see everyone signing out, going to the dentist, going to the doctor.
Right.
Not me. Going to the Red Sox game. If you have a problem with that, let me know.
I
I'll
used
be
to
at the
call
game.
myself in. I used
No,
to
you
go,
didn't.
hi, this
Like
is Sylvia
you thought you were
Jacobson.
the only one who came up with that idea.
I think I was the only one gutsy enough to do it, though. I'm calling my daughter Kathy in. She's not feeling very good today. Yeah.
I can picture that.
That's good.
Or I'd go in for first period, and I had my dad's phone number. It was 617-276-2331.
Okay.
That was his work number. He's dead for 18 years, so whoever's number that is. But
gonna get a lot of
The
calls.
fact that I knew that number off the top of my head, his work number, I would go to the nurse and say, I don't feel good. Call my father. Because my mother would say, you better be bleeding or dead if
Right.
you're calling me at work. And the nurse would say, oh, your daughter doesn't feel good. He goes, yeah, just send her home. And I would walk out the door.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And my mother didn't know, and my father didn't care.
Yeah.
That's a good dad right there.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's a great dad. Yeah. I've done that for my kids.
Did you have to buy cigarettes for your dad? Did you have to
Yeah,
do that?
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
2
Yeah.
packs for $1.
Back in those
And
days.
I got to
Yeah.
keep the change.
Send the kids down to
Yeah.
get the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that
Remember,
anymore.
no, you can't
No.
do that anymore.
You can't do a lot of stuff anymore.
Well, you can't get 2 packs of cigarettes for $1
You can't get anything for a dog.
and have any change.
Good point. That's the only reason you did it.
You can't even get anything at the dollar store for
I
$1
know.
anymore.
What's up with that?
I don't know. They've raised their prices at the dollar store.
Can't even buy razors, right? You got to be
No.
18 to get a razor blade.
Yeah.
You can't buy
Yeah.
razors
Yeah.
anymore.
No,
Yeah.
you got to go up to the counter and
Gotta
it's got to
count
be
it.
unlocked.
I
and-
know. I know a lot of comedians say it, but it is true. It's easier to get a gun.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sal,
Absolutely.
I know we jumped around a little bit. So.
A lot, but go ahead.
But who's
That's why you notice I have no paper. Why write it down? Because we're going to go off the track.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right.
Just so you guys feel better.
I got
but what if
more
you need
notes.
it?
Oh, that's my notes on my
Self-serving
purchase sale I'm
notes.
working on.
All
Yeah.
right.
So you're fixing all over your house. So how do you? What's the magic formula? What I know there is none. So
You
What's
just
the
said it.
algorithm?
Can I go now? Well, it's funny you say that because I had 3 realtors come in to give us a price on the house. you
Yeah.
know, and we said, well, we'll balance it, do a happy medium.
Yeah.
Well,
how were they doing the price? How close were
it
they
was
on the price?
From 380 to 480. It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
If I gave someone $100,000 leeway in a job, I wouldn't get it.
But
Right.
did they say change out these floors or paint or spruce up the kitchen? Like, did they give you the 480? What you should do to get 480?
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
Okay.
I kind of told them what I wanted to do, and they, one person thought I could get that, the other person thought it was crazy, and that was actually within the same office. So one office
really?
had 2 people.
Wow.
So there was a $55,000 difference from their low and high from the same office. Again, it's all an estimate. No one
Right,
knows. No
right.
one knows.
Well, let's take this to the flipping. If you say you're flipping
No,
a
you're
house,
right.
which is huge, right?
Yeah.
I know there's some calculation that
Right.
you use. You put X amount to get X
Right,
amount. Is
right.
is that a set?
Well, again,
thing?
I would never buy a house more than 70% of its worth after it's fixed up.
I
If
see.
I'm
So
gonna
that's
flip it.
that's
But-
actually where you make your money is on
Right.
your purchase as opposed to the sale.
Right.
You make
I
money
see.
when you buy real estate, not when you sell it.
Right.
Right?
And
So-
and with the
That's-
construction.
You like that?
That's gold.
That's not my saying.
But no,
I-
it makes
it is
complete
now.
sense, right?
Well,
So you hope to realize 30% profit.
Actually, even more.
well, if again, it varies. It also depends on what the house needs. I mean, every house needs more work than others. So
Right. I mean, some houses that are being flipped are abandoned, right? And they're basically either
Shells,
sometimes you can need to rip it down, a tear down or
Well,
whatever.
that's a good
but-
point. So those you might be a little bit nervous about.
Well,
If
you
someone,
pay- yeah.
if
Depends
someone
on the
hasn't,
value of the
right,
pr-
if someone
of the
hasn't lived
land.
in it for a year, they're letting, everything's not even letting go. It's past all that, So
if you pay 70% for a house that's needs total rehab,
Right.
you lose. You've lost
You
money.
lost
right,
money
right,
there.
You know, at that point, you want to maybe get it for the cost of the land.
Right.
right.
know.
Right.
But again, it does around here. I don't even know. Well, in
Well, it's too
Massachusetts,
competitive. It's very competitive in the North Shore, so you're not gonna realize those profits as you're hoping in some areas.
But let's talk about just a regular single-family
Yeah.
dwelling that just needs a little bit of love and care, kind of like your wife's grandmother's house. So, so what are you doing? So you're fixing up the kitchen, but
Can
you're
I-
not doing
can I jump in for a second?
full rehab of
no,
the kitchen.
not a full rehab.
And I'm going to jump in because it relates to that. We had a friend. He was on the show.
We had a friend.
Yeah, he's no longer a friend.
He's an enemy now.
What did we do to him?
You know what you did.
Why is he?
You had him on the show.
I didn't know he was so touchy.
You took off your shirt. No.
He's the one who said coming on that show was like sitting in the middle of a field
Right.
in a chair with a tornado running around you.
Who
So,
was that? I forget who it was.
Steve Gary.
Good analogy.
All right.
It's
All right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perfect analogy. What's up his ass?
I don't think even Tony was there, and that was.
Oh, he was there.
All right.
I caused it, no doubt.
He was,
I feel like
he
I
was the
sat over
tornado.
there.
Yeah, maybe. All right, it wasn't him.
You were the tornado. Because Tony wasn't even here when Steve Gary
You're going to
came
get
on
my
the show.
point out or not?
Go ahead.
All right, so it wasn't Steve. It was a friend of Steve's.
Oh,
Possibly an acquaintance. Go ahead.
It was acquaintance.
No longer.
ex-friend.
So he bought it for $650. He knew he could sell it for $1.150.
That seems big.
It was big,
That's
and
a
he
big,
was
yeah.
right on both those. He thought he could do the construction for $250, and then realize about $300,000 in cash. What happened was he just kept doing more and more things.
Well, he got emotionally involved in
and
the
it wasn't.
project.
It was a friend of Steve's. So
So the person we're
he
talking
ended up
about,
paying $500,000 for the improvements. Sold it for which was exactly
and
right.
the house was gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
But he took it was more of a personal thing at that point. Like, what kind of house can I
right.
make of this?
Right,
like,
right,
you know
right.
what I mean?
Right.
So
So
instead of making 3, he made 1.
$1.
He
Yeah.
made a buck.
$1.
$1 buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he couldn't buy 2 packs of cigarettes with it.
But you have to have a budget. I mean, you.
Well, right.
Okay,
and he
so
said
that's
he went over
so
budget.
we went all a long way around. Back to Kathy's question about yes, right?
So if
so-
you have $20,000, you're going to make the. What would you do with $20,000?
Put it all on red.
Not much. Not much.
Okay.
I think that's half the kitchens I do. That's the appliances. But
Right.
again, if you're just buying a house, you want to clean it up, make it livable,
Yeah.
presentable.
Let's do that.
You know, 20,000, fresh paint, maybe change some outlets and switches if they're beat up, some light fixtures,
Any
some
flooring?
carpet, refinish oak. And that's what we did. We refinished the floors upstairs
Yep.
instead of it's cheaper to refinish, sand the oak
You
if they're
sand it
real oak.
and polyurethane them.
But a lot of people are doing these cheap plain floors. You can't sand them.
Right.
So that's going to have to get ripped up. But there are a lot of little things you can do to make a house presentable, clean, livable, at least for the time being, and let people do what they want to do. when
Would
they
you
move
do
in.
anything on the outside?
Not if I didn't have to. I mean, you start getting at the windows and siding, you're talking thousands of dollars.
But you could
What if
probably
you-
do some stuff outside.
What if you didn't have like an endless budget and you're looking at an older house? Like, what would you do to clean up the outside? Like anything?
Again, it really depends. I mean, it's kind of a.
I mean, landscaping, got to take care of that. That's not going to cost you a
everything,
ton of
but
money.
everything is so expensive today. You really have to say, do I want to put this money into this house?
So
Like,
maybe you
somebody might
just-
just want to buy the house as cheap as possible and do it themselves.
Well, maybe
Right,
you just
so-
have a cleanup, have a landscape come in and clean
trim
up.
some bushes.
Okay.
Maybe freshen up some paint.
Yeah, maybe do some plantings, right?
Yeah.
Paint the grass.
Paint
Yeah.
the grass green.
Yeah.
They do that. They do that in Chelsea. They pave and paint it green.
Yeah.
And it's a lawn that never needs water.
And then maybe you put a top coat on the driveway to make it look fresh, as
I
opposed
would-
to a.
Again,
I'm
but
just
top
thinking.
coat is $2,000. It's nothing's cheap anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
right. All right.
Bunch of chia pets on the front stoop
And then you get Tony out front to greet everybody when they're
Right.
coming in.
Tony,
as a
yeah.
distraction. It's like
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Don't look over there. Look over here.
It's a good time to bring up your staging idea where you don't just stage the house, you stage it with family members and neighbors.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Tony.
That would be great.
That's what you
What do
do.
you think about that?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Husband and wife fighting in the kitchen,
Yeah.
throwing dishes.
Yeah, sure.
Huh?
Kid upstairs crying.
That's it.
Kid screaming, "Mommy, mommy, 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 mommy!"
Put that on a disclosure.
Listen, when my kids were little, that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Now that I've
immune.
gotten older, I'm like, can someone just take that kid
Get
out
out.
of here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well, they're
it's
in their
really-
20s. They shouldn't be doing that to you now.
Yeah.
No, I mean like in a grocery store.
Oh,
or at
all
the
right,
mall or
okay.
Oh, I was
something.
Talk about a husband.
We were in a restaurant yesterday, and Artie Januario and I, and there was a little kid, and he was just out of control. I'm gonna trip that kid next guy. Next time he runs by
I
me, I'm
know.
tripping that kid. I'm just gonna. I don't know what happened. He just hit the deck. It was
don't know
just
what
awful. I don't know what happened.
Our patience level has diminished.
Yeah, it does as you age.
Yeah.
You get cranky.
And then
I'm
you
the
look
same way.
at when they were younger and your kid was crying and you're looking at the old lady that's staring at you.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen.
Oh, like
this is-
they've never, right. They
Right.
never had
This
kids.
is how bad it's gotten for me. When I don't know if I told you my popsicle story. When I was in St. Augustine doing the movie DOA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm walking around. I had some time off, and I see a place, and it says gourmet popsicles. So for starters, I think I didn't know you could gourmet a popsicle.
ice.
Right.
and
You know what I
flavor,
mean?
yeah.
I'm thinking I'm getting truffle
Yeah.
popsicles
Yeah,
or escargot popsicles, but
Yeah.
it's just popsicles.
Yeah.
So, I'm on this whole 30 thing, and I go to the kid behind the counter. I go, "Hey, do you got any, this is just fruit, no sugar in it?" He goes, "Oh, sir, we don't use any sugar at all in our popsicles." I go, "That's great, no sugar at all." He goes, "No, we use organic evaporated cane juice." And I go, "That sounds suspiciously like sugar to me." He goes, "No, sir," and he wouldn't budge. He goes, "No, sir, it's organic
Isn't
evaporated."
cane made?
It's,
Yeah,
cane-
I go,
sugar
I go,
cane,
sugar
get it?
So I go, "Let's
Right.
walk through this." I wasn't budging. He wasn't budging. We were going to get to the root of the issue here. And I go, "It starts out as a liquid, right? You get it from the sugar cane." He goes, "Yes, sir." And I go, "They evaporate it down to crystals. When it gets here, it's in a bag, right?" He goes, "Yes, sir." I go, "Little tiny crystals." of
They're white,
right?
right? Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's fucking sugar."
That's awesome. What do
What
we
did he
call
say?
it? Evaporated.
Cane juice.
Cane
Organic
juice.
evaporated cane juice.
That's not juice.
Just got to change the name a little bit.
That's
it.
right. That's
That's
right.
what they do.
It's all in the packaging.
It all happened when they started calling fried chicken crispy chicken.
Right.
Just to
Oh,
throw
yeah.
us off the.
Oh,
you
yeah.
want
Can
I
that,
ask you a
You
question?
want that grilled or crispy?
And how do you get it crispy? You fry
we
it.
fry it, right?
Do they really do
Unreal.
Did you
Kentucky
have a
Fried?
popsicle?
What's that? Didn't I walked out
No,
without a
yeah.
popsicle? No,
Good for
I was sticking to my gun.
They
No
should
sugar,
use,
huh? You don't
No
like sugar?
should
No,
use aspartame.
Even worse.
I know.
Because it
Right.
that
That's
makes your
like rat
body think
poison.
you have sugar,
Yeah.
and
Right,
it kicks
right.
it in.
Do they really have Kentucky Fried ads with waffles now? Is that true?
Chicken and waffles is a
Chicken
big
and
Southern
yeah.
thing. Chicken and
And
waffles
all
is a
I
huge
can
thing.
see right there is calories.
You think so?
Carbs.
Useless calories.
Fat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, I can't even imagine.
I say, see Ed Sullivan shaking his head, nodding.
They have it. Tony, when are you going to be Colonel Sanders?
They
have a lot of turnover.
They'll get there.
He's got to get the beard back.
I think I'm about 37th in line.
Okay.
But he would never eat that stuff, so
No,
he
that's a good
probably
point.
can't.
That's a good point.
But I used to love chicken.
Yeah,
Chicken
but
and waffles is great.
that's the old
Chicken and waffles,
old
huh?
Tony.
Chicken and waffles
The
is
new
great.
Tony would never eat that.
No.
Chicken and waffles and syrup. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's
doesn't even sound
delicious.
good.
It's
Really?
fantastic.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
let's
All
not
right.
pretend.
Don't you
I'm
roll
not-
your eyes.
You are not allowed that.
Let's not pretend it's not good.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean? It's not. Let's not make it evil because we don't eat it, but it's delicious.
evil.
It's delicious.
Evil.
All right, Sal, back to you. You thought you were off the hook for a second. All right, we talked about the $20,000. What if you had a $40,000 budget? What would be the next in line? Kitchen appliances?
Yeah, kitchen appliances, maybe update the
What's the
bathroom.
number one thing that people want to see updated? Is it the kitchen now?
Kitchen and bathroom. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
who wants to lay in a dirty tub? Maybe Tony. Tony likes laying in a dirty tub.
He doesn't care.
Listen, it might not be dirty when I'm not in it, but when I get out,
He's
it's
out.
dirty.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
But no, let's face it.
I have a ring around the ceiling.
Ring around. Sailing
I just got it.
toilet
Thank you
bowl.
very much. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I try. I just want you to know I try. I never turn it off.
But yeah, I mean, let's face it. The kitchen and bathroom, most expensive rooms.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, you got to draw the line. Now, again, we talked about this in the past. You can change your kitchen cabinets out without a permit.
Right.
It's in the code.
Okay.
It's clear as day now.
All right.
A lot of inspectors will try to get you to pull a permit. But if you want to really change, and this is what we're doing, get rid of the cabinets. Although you do have to pull a plumbing permit, an electrical permit if you're doing
Oh, you do?
dishwasher and sink, technically. That's a different code.
Yeah.
But as far as a building permit, if you're not opening up the walls and you're doing a cabinet
When do you
change,
need a permit?
pretty much on everything else.
Well,
Seriously.
what if you take out a dishwasher and put in a new dishwasher?
Well,
Is this
again,
a hypothetical?
Yeah.
well,
no, it's not.
Technically,
You're worried about the Manchester police showing up, right?
yeah, they got bigger things to
You're
fight.
supposed to pull a permit for a dishwasher.
Electrical and plumbing, it's required. Doesn't say it's small. You don't have to do it.
Right.
If you change out a light fixture, technically you need a permit.
Really?
Oh.
I'm talking about as far
Forget
as the
it,
country.
Sal.
A homeowner. Again,
So you mean you can't wire your whole house
listen,
without?
I know.
I'm from Lynn. There's a lot of things I've done without permits, even as a building
That hot
inspector.
tub in my backyard should have had a permit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a must. But people
You
put
didn't
pools
get a
in all the
permit.
time.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
I wonder if Stu Holtshouser got a permit when he rewired all of Waterboro, Maine.
When I was the inspector in this,
is
the guy
it
had an
Holtshouser
extension cord.
Electrical? Did he do it?
He goes, it was easy.
Yeah, it was easy because he didn't pull a permit.
Yeah, you got to pull. You know what? If you're selling a house and there's no permits, and the realtors go and look, now what if they say we want to make sure the work was done right? Now you're holding up the seal.
Right,
of
you're
the
right,
house.
you're right.
And I when I was the inspector in Ipswich, I saw that all the time. I saw people running extension cords out of basement windows to pools that they put up with no permit. I'd knock on their door and be
Right.
like, is that cord going to that pool? And they're like,
No.
yeah. I'm like,
No.
you got to unplug that pool and you got to pull a permit. And
Yeah.
I've actually had people take the pools down.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. They're like, I'm not pulling a permit. I'm like, you have to pull a permit.
Yeah.
And they were so spiteful. They said, I'm taking the pool down. I go, you can take the pool down. You need a permit.
To take the pool down.
But you do need a demo permit for a lot of stuff.
But there's a lot of people that that work without getting permits. So we had a bathroom put
Absolutely.
in Londonderry, illegal bathroom, and we had electrical and plumbing done and never pulled a
Are
permit.
you sure you want to be saying this?
I know.
Hey,
really.
we don't own the house anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's done. It's done every day.
Back to his point.
It's done every day.
You sure you want to be saying this?
I don't care.
But the world's changed from 85 to now. And you know what? It adds time, but you could sleep good at night knowing you've done everything legally. I
Right.
mean, a house burns down and you got an electrician there for 6 weeks wiring, you're in trouble.
Right.
Someone gets killed, possible manslaughter. I mean, it happens.
Now, when you bring in those subs,
Sal's so serious.
No,
today.
I know.
but-
Sometimes we lose them.
He makes it. I mean, we kid about it.
No,
but
I know.
And
but-
listen, I've done. I'll admit it. I've done jobs without permits. But would I do it today? And I have people ask me, and I'm like, absolutely not. I go, now I'm
Right.
a certified inspector. How can I be? I'm a hypocrite if I do that.
Right. I'm going to jump
And-
back to that. Does that sub? Do they need to be insured?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you're a business owner with employees, you need workers' comp and liability.
Yeah.
So if you're out there as a general contractor,
Yep.
and you pull in an electrician or a plumber,
They all have to have.
Absolutely. And I've had that happen to me. Yep.
and they have to have full insurance, workman's comp,
Yep.
And an active, valid license, right?
Right.
An electrician needs to have a valid.
Yep, license so they can pull their own permits.
Yep.
Liability, and if they have employees, if they want to work alone, they don't need comp.
Yeah.
Right.
But if they have one employee, it doesn't matter if it's their kid. An employee is an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I love it when I used to go and do inspections on multifamilies. Everyone would say to me, "Oh, it's my daughter up there," because you didn't tell them to have to replace the stairs outside. Every 5 years in Massachusetts, you do a periodic inspection, and you're like, "Oh, these stairs have to be replaced." And the guy's like, "Well, it's my family that lives here. Why do I got to do it? It's my daughter."
I don't care.
So it's like you don't care about your daughter that's on the third floor.
Right,
But
right,
they have this assumption because it's family, they don't need to meet the law or the code.
Right.
Actually, I would say you'd want to meet it a little more, maybe.
Right.
I mean, I'd care more about my daughter than a tenant.
So
Not
what-
I
So
don't care
what-
about a tenant.
What
I don't know.
Not many people listen.
I don't know.
Lately, one of my daughters has been
Yeah.
really irritating me.
Yeah,
So maybe
yeah,
a set of stairs wouldn't be,
Yeah.
So you took the railings out.
unplug the fire,
Sure.
the
Yeah,
smoke
sure.
detectors.
Yeah.
Now, what would provoke someone of authority to inspect a house? I mean, you do have the authority to randomly check a house, right?
If
I know you don't,
When
but-
envelopes get low, good time to inspect.
Yep.
Replenish the envelopes. That
Yeah.
was a joke.
Yeah.
Plus, they all got.
I get it.
You see, now
We're like,
I was
what?
trying not to be serious.
See, Sal was so serious.
Yeah.
Everyone said, "What? Oh, really?"
No, but what did you say? Every 5 years? What is that? Is that a town code?
In Massachusetts, when you have a multifamily building, you have to do periodics. Make sure you have all your egress stairs,
All
railings,
towns.
smoke detectors in the hallways, emergency lighting, and whatnot.
And so they can come in every 5 years. The town.
The property owner has to apply for, fill out an application. They're supposed to know when to do it and ask for us to come out. They pay a fee, and we put them on the schedule when we come out and take a look at the property.
Railings.
Every place in Massachusetts?
And like multifamily.
Multifamily, yeah.
Like I got a 3-decker, brownstone in Boston.
That's a
Do you
multifamily.
do you rent it?
Yes.
I do. Yeah, I have rental units.
So if you have rental units
Yeah.
and you have tenants and
Yeah.
you have egress stairs and
Yeah.
hallways with emergency lighting and illuminated exit signs, those should be inspected every 5 years.
He doesn't have any of that.
I got a flashlight.
Any assembly, educational churches.
I don't have that.
Anybody with the liquor license in this is Massachusetts.
Right.
Any liquor licenses every year. So if somebody doesn't do something that's required,
Right.
and
Hypothetically.
December 31st at midnight, that's not up and running. It's not the way it should be. They didn't fix it. I could walk in there with the police department and the fire department and shut them down, take the liquor license until it's fixed.
So
Well, again, look at what happened in Rhode
So
Island.
they're going to
You
take
wanna
your
make
liquor
sure-
license
Right.
away, Tony.
They can have it.
But again, when you do have a multi, there are, it's a relatively newer thing in Massachusetts. But the periodics are important. I mean, that's when you catch. I'm being summoned into court in October. Still, from 2 years ago.
wife issues.
No, yeah, that's domestic, but we're not going to get into that today. An egress set of stairs that I made some attorney in Boston who owned this property in Ipswich. The stairs weren't right. They actually failed every single code except for one. And the previous inspectors kept giving this guy a certificate. A select woman fell down these stairs. She's brain dead. She was
Oh,
brain
Jesus.
damage.
Wow.
She left Ipswich in a helicopter. I mean, medevac
Wow.
to Boston.
Wow.
And no one ever did anything about it. So I got a complaint from a daughter. I went and answered the complaint. Told these guys they needed to fix it. They did. They were great guys. They fixed the stairs. But now the insurance company just kicked in because of my letter. And I'm being summoned into court sometime in October.
But you're not in trouble
No, I'm going in as a
because
witness.
you fixed it.
Well, I
Or-
already got drilled for 3 hours with 2 attorneys in a conference room about a year and a half ago, and this is still now there's litigation going on because now they have a letter from one inspector saying they were good, then they have mine saying my predecessors
Were
basically
wrong.
were negligent, and I made these guys fix
Are
the
they
stairs.
suing the town?
Well, they could sue anyone they want.
Right.
They can't sue me. You can't sue an inspector for doing his job as long
Right.
as it's not gross negligence, which it wasn't. But yeah, the town could possibly, maybe for not doing it.
In the litigation world, they love that when something's being corrected. You know?
And I was kind of, I've had people say, you might be crossing a line, but that's my job, safety. And
What do you mean crossing your line?
Well, putting my job.
You ratted on your
Well, I'm basically
predecessors.
going against former inspectors,
Right.
And now I'm saying they were wrong, and this needs to be fixed, and
yeah.
that was the right thing to do. So that's what I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got to go to court. Who knows how long this thing's going to go on? I'm not getting paid. I don't even work for the town anymore. But that was my job at the time, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the right
yeah.
thing to do, and it should have
Right.
been done.
And you
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong, so it's easy for you,
You
to go
did
to
everything
court.
right,
And,
right.
And
right.
and again, if this lady had a handrail to grab, she
Yeah.
might not have brain damage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Winter railings are required. We do FHA loans, and one of the requirements they have is usually that there's no railings out front.
Yep.
So what's the criteria on that?
well, it has to be a graspable handrail. So a 2x4, which you find in a lot of houses, is not considered a handrail. That's a guardrail.
Okay.
You need a graspable handrail,
Okay.
and there's different requirements.
Any ingress or egress has to have that railing?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Oh boy.
So you
we
need-
know somebody that didn't have handrails.
Yeah.
Now again, if it's one or two
My
steps,
whole neighborhood.
1 or 2 steps under 30 inches, 3 steps might not really be an issue. But anything more than that.
All right. More than 3 steps.
But again, if it's that's residential,
Yeah.
a lot of inspectors will overlook it. But on a commercial building, 3 family or more, you do have to have them, and they should be on both sides. On a residential, only has to be
I
on
got
one side.
handrails everywhere.
All right.
When
so
people
you're
come to my house, I hand them handrails.
He's got
Everyone
handrails.
gets
hand them a rail.
Yeah. They have their own personal handrails.
And then at the top, they have a walker waiting.
What do you
with,
throw out a rope?
Yeah. And plus, everyone that enters my home is wrapped in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
because you don't have egress lighting.
Do you have a bubble ball
I have
for the
a bu-
elderly?
Why don't we go to the bubble
gotta go
ball?
back-
It's
back
another
to
one
the
of my
bubble ball.
another
Right.
one of my great ideas.
gotta get
that
this on
people just
Instagram.
poo-poo.
Let's do it. Get the bubble ball
Are
going.
we on YouTube? People are going to start subscribing to us on YouTube, don't
Yeah,
they?
they should.
They should. All right, I think so. Yeah.
Go to YouTube and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Think that'll help?
That
You think
works.
that'll help?
I think they're nervous. They
Listen-
are gonna. We know where you live.
Listen, you humps.
We're gonna have
Get on
Sal
the-
come by and inspect your house
Get
if
on-
you
Yeah.
Get on YouTube.
if you don't get us on YouTube.
Please.
Subscribe us.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we were thinking in our business, we're coming full circle here. We'd have a nice
Are we
little.
really?
Yeah.
That's what
point.
this is
He
called.
can't see it, but let him get his thought out so we can get it.
It's not an exact circle.
Maybe it's not.
It's not a
And maybe it's
complete-
not full.
not exact.
We started the trip around the
Right.
circle.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
And let him think.
Yeah. His name's on the show.
I know.
Let him run a little
think
bit.
it-
Sure.
I'm only
little
on once
delu-
every 6 months. Now. You're
That's
going to
all,
forget
yeah.
me by
a little
tomorrow.
delusional, but it's okay.
If he thinks that ties up this show, let's let him think that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. Go ahead. Go
God.
ahead,
All right.
Rick.
Finish up there, Rick.
Wait,
Go
wait.
ahead.
Yeah.
Let's finish
Come
full
on.
circle.
Come on. If you guys start giving me noogies, I'm going to start really
Go
worrying
half
here.
circle then.
So we're we'll go quarter circle here. So we're thinking in our business at Carter Law, we should somehow recruit you for people that are selling their properties. Maybe they don't have to put in $80,000 worth of
Yeah,
work.
like a
We've
consultation.
been talking about this for a while.
You'll get like a consultant fee.
Right.
And actually tell them what they need to do, budget it out for them, and maybe they'd even hire you to do it.
Wait a second. You've never offered me a job.
We've offered you
You have
40
a job!
Tony can show up and do jokes while I'm writing the estimate up.
Right.
And you haven't showed up. We have a desk for you, and there's a whole
It's
bunch
not
of
a review.
purchase and sale agreements that need to be
You're in
reviewed.
charge of writing our movie.
All right.
You know that.
Yeah.
And your
and
friend,
in charge of getting us extra roles.
we got to get extra roles.
We'll write you into
You wrote
something.
that movie and you still couldn't give us a call?
Did you have a makeup artist?
Yeah.
I would have loved driving that 1930s car. I would have been the driver.
And I could have got
Put
my
you
I was
away.
the driver.
Oh,
You're
no,
not having my job. No, the next short we do, I'll write you in.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
The next short we do is where
She doesn't forget things.
Kenny Rogerson is writing our next short for this particular group of people.
Okay.
And it's about a gambling cat,
Oh.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
She has
Okay.
gambling issues.
Mr. Stripies.
Oh.
Kenny Rogerson used to tell me the best thing about he went to L.A.
Yeah.
and for the longest time he was interviewing interns for his job writing for
when
Lenny
he
Clark.
wrote for Lenny.
He didn't tell any of the interns the show was canceled weeks ago.
That's great.
And what did he do? Get all the
Yes.
good lines? Oh, smart, Kenny. That was
You know,
smart.
I don't know if Lenny's ever told the story on this show, but when he hired Kenny to be the writer, we're just ham and eggers, and this was like a big
Ham
step.
and eggers.
And so they had their first meeting, and they go into the office, and then Kenny has to go meet the producers, and Lenny's waiting for him in his office, and Kenny comes back. He goes, "You're the fucking boss." To Lenny, he goes, "Did you know this is your?" He goes, "Yeah, that's why."
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Kenny wrote a very, I know we're digressing, we're going to wrap this up. Sirens, you ever remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It has about 5 or 6 episodes. Kenny wrote one of those episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Yep,
Kenny's very funny.
Very talented.
Yep.
Very
so you're
funny
going to write
guy.
us into the next one. I saw you looking at her. I was
All right,
hoping
yeah.
you.
No, I'll get
Yeah.
you both.
All right,
We'll-
okay,
we'll-
all
you
right.
will
I
make-
could
you
do
know
the
what?
craps table.
No, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll write you in as like a couple.
Okay.
You guys
Oh
can.
God,
Shall we be
kill-
fighting?
Yeah, you'll be a bickering
We are
couple.
good at
A
we are good
A
actors.
bickering couple.
Well,
I
we
don't
could-
know how we can do
I'll
that.
try to keep it in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
That'll be quite a
Well,
stretch for her.
we can fight about anything and everything. So it's just
There it is, right
yeah.
there.
You'd be there. Kathy and Rick, we ended the show 10 minutes ago. You're still bickering.
Rick always says, "I don't understand how we could agree on something and still fight about it."
Yeah, she does that.
Right, yeah.
He'll
Should-
go, it's kind of cloudy out.
she
I'm like,
should-
it's not really all that cloudy out.
I'll say to
The
her,
sun's coming out.
geez, it's in the low 60s today. She goes, no, it's only about 63. I go, isn't that the same
Yeah.
exact thing?
Yep.
Oh, yep. I got a half a dozen donuts today. No, you didn't. You only got 6. We'd be perfect for your role. Let us
That'd
know.
be great.
All right, Sal. Thank
All
you. When
right.
you coming
Yeah.
back on soon?
When you call me.
All right.
6
All right.
months.
All right.
Yeah.
No, you're going to be back. Thanks
No,
for
we'll get you a couple clients.
Let's
we are
do
going
it.
to
We'll work on it.
We're working on it
Yeah.
now.
Rick
And
and I
Sal's going down to get my tiki bar. We'll talk about that at the end of the
Yeah.
show.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he isn't.
He is. He is. Thanks for joining
Why,
us
you
here
wanna
on the
No.
Real Estate House Party. Tony V, Paralegal Extraordinaire, Kelly Holtshouser, and the one and only Sal Votano. Thanks for
Nice.
joining us
Thanks,
today on the
Sal.
House Party.
And you're not buying the tiki bar.
Yes, he's not buying it.
I know he's not
picking it up.
taking you.
Well-
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.